What are the maintenance costs for the M4 CS Audi 80 competition and Volvo EX30? Let's find out. Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video. Today, finally, after a few months, we're back to talking about cars. And what better place to start the video than my garage? Or rather, what should be my garage, because it's still a construction site. In fact, we started the work almost a year ago and we're still nowhere near finished. I'm not sure when it'll be ready, but I'll show it to you here on Instagram or other social media. Today, I don't want to discuss modifications, track laps, or horsepower. Today, we're talking about a topic that more or less interests everyone, which is cash, money, dinero, pecunia. Lately, here on YouTube, I've been taking you to discover special places, mainly around the world. So I'd like to continue this trend for a bit. And while I tell you about the maintenance costs of my cars, I'll also let you get to know the place where I live. Specifically, we are in Veneto, in the province of Treviso, right in the middle of the Prosecco hills, Conegliano and Val d'Obiadene. Basically, all the wine you drink in your spritz comes from this place. Yes, not from this garage, I'm letting you know it will take me over a day to make this video. If you notice my beard or clothes look different, it's because I filmed the video at different times. Forgive me. Let's begin. I'll show you 3 great places, starting with the Audio AT Audio. We're on board the old lady of the house, the Audio 80 competition, which I guess you've already gotten to know by watching the videos on the channel. In case you haven't, I'll put the video somewhere around here. While we head to the first stop of our trip, I'll tell you a bit about how much it costs to maintain this old lady. Year 1994, so she just turned 30. We're heading towards 31 by now. She's considered a vintage car. The first thing that stands out for your wallet is that we have an exemption from the road tax, basically zero. We pay a tax of, I think, 30 euros, only if in the year we use it, we take it on the road. Otherwise, we can even avoid paying it, so the road tax is basically zero. Classic car insurance. You have to register it with a vintage car club. This registration costs 100 euros per year. I include it in the insurance because to get the discounted insurance, you have to join a club for 1 year of insurance. Besides the 100 euro registration fee, our only car insurance is 200 euros for liability, making total insurance 300 euros per year. So far, there aren't any exorbitant costs. Let's move on to the maintenance checks. Here, you absolutely have to do a maintenance check every 5, 7 or 10,000 kilometers because given its age, it's better to keep it with fresh, good fluids, let's say. For each car's total maintenance, I'll include 1 tire change and 1 maintenance check. For a maintenance check done by a mechanic at an authorized workshop wherever you want, we're going to spend about 400 euros. You can save some money if you do it at home, if you're able to. It's nothing difficult, but you need a lift, you need a garage, which at the moment I don't have. After the service, let's talk about the tires. I have a set of summer tires and a set of winter tires, more or less. A tire change, which we do every year, costs about 400 euros. Then it depends on the type of tire. Here, you don't need particularly high performance tires, so I'd say the price of the tires isn't that high. Let's finish with the expense that weighs the most for a car. Clearly, we can't do without putting in gas. Here, we don't have little computers that tell me how much the car actually consumes. On average, we're getting about 10 kilometers per liter. We'll make a general calculation for each car, and let's say we do 5,000 kilometers per year for each car. So, 5,000 kilometers per year at 10 kilometers per liter. If gasoline averages 1 euro and 70 cents per liter, the total comes to 850 euros. I haven't even counted the various engine breakdowns and things that can definitely happen more often compared to the Volvo and the M4. Let's pray to God that nothing happens. But well, even if something breaks here, it's not like it's going to cost you that much. So for now, everything's fine. The exhaust sounds amazing. I use the car as my daily driver to go from home to work, and the drivability is really awesome. It's always missing those extra 100 horsepower I like, but it doesn't matter. In the end, we didn't go for the gold plate because with the exhaust modification and the lowered suspension, they wouldn't approve it. But for the grand total, wait until we get to the first destination because there's always someone going 22 kilometers per hour. Listen here, listen here. Honestly, to find out the total annual cost of this Audi 80 competition, wait until we reach the final destination. Oh God, cyclists, you could move over a bit more seriously. All right, here we are. We've arrived at the first stop of our little trip, Il Molinetto della Croda. An ancient watermill from the 1600s, perfectly preserved. I came here because it reminds me a bit of the afternoons from my childhood spent running, playing and feeding the ducks. I don't see them now, maybe they're extinct. No, sorry, they're still here and alive. If you're in Treviso or the Prosecco Hills, especially Conegliano and Valdobbiadene, you should definitely stop here. Returning to the Audi, annual maintenance for 5,000 kilometers costs around 2,000 euros. Let's say you can save a bit if you do the service at home, but it's nothing exorbitant. While you're filming, the famous ducks decide to poop on you. Somehow I have poop in my pocket. Now I need to change cars and locations. And from analog, we move to digital. We just left the Molinetto della Croda and we're heading to another well-known place in the area. We're on board our electric car, the Volvo EX30, which we've had for almost a year now. We have it here because officially the car is hers. We both pay for electricity, but I don't pay for the insurance in this case. Thank goodness for this. Here we no longer have analog buttons, dials or anything like that, but we have a single screen that controls everything. I have to say, the initial impact was a bit strange, but using it day by day you get used to it, and the convenience it offers in daily use is unbeatable. In my opinion, we just turned on the headlights, there are the police, they're going to stop us. For everyday use in my opinion, and for not too long distances, not trips of 4 hours. In my opinion, electric is currently the best choice. It's convenient, always ready, it's fast, it's quick, and it uses little energy. They stopped another vehicle. We drove about 10,000 kilometers in a year, I have to say. Apart from all these sensors that sometimes are really a pain, I have to say that it's really good. Let's talk about the costs. Like the Audi 80, this car is exempt from road tax. Not due to age, but because it's electric. For the first 5 years, the road tax in Veneto is 0. As for insurance, since it's an electric car, it's also subsidized here. We pay for a year, she pays for a year, 324 euros. Just liability insurance, to be clear, because nothing else is included. The glass policy is part of the mini loan she took out. And so we've already used it because we broke the windshield with a rock. And separately it's included in the loan installments. So I can't give you an exact figure, but let's consider the 324 euros for car insurance. So compared to the Audi 80, we have 24 euros more per year. So we don't have an engine to check, we don't have oil to put in, we basically have nothing to do. The only things to check are the various air filters and the brake pads. The brake pads really only need to be changed once every 150,000 kilometers because they're hardly ever used. When we release the accelerator, the car slows down on its own with engine braking and recharges itself, so there's basically no need to brake. Let's say you do a service once a year, and here we're talking about around 200 euros, so it's cheaper compared to the Audi 80.
Here too, let's assume you change the tires once a year since it's rear-wheel drive.
I noticed that the rear tires tend to wear out very quickly. This car really makes you want to speed up. A tire change for this car with 18-inch rims costs us 500 euros per year. Yes, sir, hold on. There's still a caravan of cyclists. Today is really bicycle day. Look at them spitting in the middle of the road. I'll get mean later. The nice thing about electric is this: if you want, you can just zoom past them. Let's get to the last part, the gasoline, which in this case isn't here. We have electric chargers. There are two ways here. If you charge it at public charging stations, the fast ones, you'll end up spending 650 euros in a year for 5,000 kilometers, as we said before. Since we have a wall box at home, we spend much less, just 250 euros to charge the car. So for electricity for a year, we're talking about 250 to 650 euros. If you're considering a car for everyday use, you won't be driving more than 200 kilometers a day. I suggest an electric car as it's the most convenient choice, especially if you have a home garage. Where can you install a wall box? Just for your information, the range of this car is 340 kilometers, which you can achieve in the summer. Maybe in the summer you'll get 310 or 300, while in the winter with the cold the range drops. We're around 250 or 260 more or less. It depends a bit on how you use it. If you drive fast, after 10 kilometers you'll be walking. I assure you, we're almost at the second stop of this mini tour in the Prosecco Hills, Conegliano and Valdobbiadene in the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization Heritage Area. And I'll tell you the grand total later. We've arrived at Lake Revine, a small glacial lake at the foot of the Treviso Prealps. This place is visited all year round, but of course it's at its peak in the summer. You can go for walks, you can swim in the lake if you're brave. Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of swimming in the lake. You can go paragliding right at Pian delle Femmine up here, and you can enjoy a sunny day having a picnic or a barbecue. Definitely worth a visit. Nearby we have Castel Brando, a beautiful castle located on top of a hill, and there's also Sison di Valmarino, which is one of the most beautiful villages in Italy. This peaceful spot is perfect for telling you how much the Volvo EX30 costs us annually. So by adding up the costs I mentioned earlier, the total for the annual maintenance of the Volvo EX30 is 1,674 euros. Obviously euros plus. Euros in short, we're about 300 euros lower compared to the Audi 80. I don't know about you, but I'd be scared to swim here. At the moment, as we mentioned before, electric vehicles do have big advantages, but also many limitations. So if you're looking for the ultimate driving pleasure, the next car is the right one. M4 CS, which you all know by now. No compromises and no calculations about efficiency, but get ready for the price because here the costs skyrocket. Let's start with the road tax and super tax for a total of 3,200 euros per year. Then we move on to full insurance, 1,300 euros including theft and fire. I'd say it's almost cheap compared to some Italian regions where you pay these amounts for a city car. Let's move on to the tires. Here too, a set per year doesn't cost less than 1,000 euros. And based on a service I just had done, we're between 800 and 1,500 euros. And pray that nothing breaks. Finally, for gas, assuming 5,000 kilometers per year at 7 kilometers per liter, we spend 1,200 euros, definitely much more than the other two. But let's put expenses aside for a moment. And look here, what a sight. We are in the middle of the Prosecco Hills, a United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site. And at the end of this road, there's a place that best represents the spirit of this area. Welcome to Osteria Senza Oste. Here, there are no waiters and no menu, just good food and good wine. Simple rule, take what you want and leave what you think is fair. A concept that has worked for years and perfectly embodies the spirit that represents this area. There are even wine bottle dispensers, so you basically take your bottle and enjoy it. Looking at this beautiful view clearly these days, watch out for your driver's license. So, to recap, the annual maintenance cost for the M4 is 8,000 euros. Versus 2,000 for the Audi and 1,500 for the Volvo. Here we're way above that, guys, and I only counted 5,000 kilometers per year. I'll put a table here somewhere that summarizes all the costs of the different cars. Let me know what you think too. Surely for the M4, that's a lot of money, but it pays off in emotions. Also, tell me which land car you would have in your garage. I'd say that's all from the Osteria Senza Oste. Now it's time to get some food, and I'll see you in the next video.